Hi, everybody. This is Adrienne Joyce, and today I wanted to talk about abundance. Sometimes when I pull my daily tarot cards, I will pull a card like the Ten of Pentacles, which is a card about having abundance and having what you need in life. And I will say something like, don't forget to also be grateful for all of the things that you have and all of your abundance. And I say that abundance is not just about money, but it can be a whole host of things. Abundance can be your family support that you have and the people who are in your life who love you. And if you have that, you may take that for granted, but some people don't have support. There's some people who don't have someone to talk to, they don't have anyone to ask if they need things, even just a small favor. And sometimes it's just a matter of having someone to talk to, someone you can be yourself with, someone who's not being judgmental, someone who understands where you're coming from and will talk to you and give you advice if you need it, and will just listen if that's what you need them to do. And everyone doesn't have that, and being able to have that in your life is definitely cause to celebrate your abundance and something to recognize as something that is valuable. And that is what abundance is, something that you attach value to. Sometimes people don't think that they have abundance. They may say, yeah, well, that sounds all well and good, but I really don't have a lot in my life to celebrate. And we all go through periods where we are feeling down, feeling depressed, or whatever word you want to attach to it. We're feeling sad, where we think that things are not going right in our life, and that is valid. I think that we should recognize when we feel sad or depressed and really feel into it and not make excuses for it and not say, okay, well, I should be happy and I do have some abundance. That is not always the stance to take, and I'm not trying to suggest that you should not acknowledge when you don't feel good. And if you're really feeling down and depressed, there are resources to go to, hotlines to call. But for any of you out there who can find it within themselves to at least consider that perhaps it is the way that you see abundance that keeps you from feeling that you have it, then these are some things that you can consider. We see examples every day of people who have dire situations in their lives, or there are people who have been given the news that they have a serious illness and they have a poor prognosis. Maybe they're dying, maybe they have cancer or other terminal illness. Some people manage to see that this could actually be a wake-up call in order to live life better, to live the rest of their lives with more joy. And the ideal situation is not to wait until you receive a terminal illness to be thankful for the life that you have been given right now. I remember going to church with my grandmother, and right before the 11 o'clock service on Sundays, there would be a small prayer service at 10:30 where people would come in and they would just testify and say what they were thankful for. And more often than not, my grandmother would be the first one to stand up and testify, and each and every time she would say, I thank God for waking me up this morning. And when I was a kid, I was like, really, Grandma? I mean, that's what you're thankful for? Being, yeah, when you get up in the morning, so what? When I got a little bit older, I used to say, okay, well, she was older, so being able to get up in the morning is a thing for her because she's so old and near death. But I think that we're all there. We are all at that point where we should be thankful to get up in the morning, because that is not a given. Nothing is promised. I also remember a few years back when I was working in the office, and one of our coworkers, this really nice woman, she, at one Friday, as usual, I would see her on the way out, and we would say good night, have a good weekend. And this one particular Friday, the same routine, said have a good weekend, and she didn't come in on Monday, and by Tuesday we found out that she had died over the weekend. She was not sick. She did not appear to have any ailments, and she lived alone actually, so there may have been some delay in finding her, but she had died over the weekend. And so it was just a one of those things where it's like, you just don't know what could happen. And as usual, the train is passing by my house. But it's one of those things. You don't know when the time is, and if you enjoy waking up in the morning, that is something to be thankful for when that happens. And a lot of times when we are depressed and we don't have something to be thankful for, one technique to do is to find anything that you can be thankful for. If you have internet connection and are able to see this video, that's something to be thankful for. If you're able to turn on the faucet and get water out of it, that is something to be thankful for. You can come up with all kinds of small, seemingly insignificant things, and if that's what you have, then that's what you have. Start out with that. I don't like to say fake it until you make it, but in this case, I think that is something that can be helpful, to fake it until you make it, to think of small things to be thankful for, and to recite that every day, more than once a day. Thanks for this water turning on. Thank you for me being able to sit on my bed. Thank you for this pillow I'm able to lay on. Thank you for this time I have to be able to take a rest, to take a nap. And you can go on and on and on with little small things, and eventually you will feel it. This is not a scolding from Mama Joyce saying, oh, be thankful for the things that you have. Be thankful for the food on your plate, because there are starving children in Africa. I'm not saying that, and I'm not excuse me, and I'm not negating that there may be sadness in your life and that you may feel hopeless at times, but even the little bit of hope is enough to be thankful for. And that is abundance, whether it's small, whether it's you're a millionaire, or whether you have running water to drink from, that you have clean water, that you have a host of other things that maybe on some days we take for granted. Sometimes we just go through our day and we don't think of certain things, and maybe just once in a while, be thankful for that. And I find that gratitude just creates some more abundance in other ways. So I hope that is helpful to someone out there. And I just want to pull a card for everybody, just to kind of see if there's anything else, any other message from the universe. And the card dropped out, and I'm going to use that card. And that card is Temperance. And I think that is a fitting card in this situation, because on the one hand we do have abundance, and on the excuse me, on the one hand we do have abundance, and on the other hand we do have needs in our life. We do have concerns, we do have problems, and the key to it is to, if at all possible, not to give all the weight to one or the other. Yes, you have abundance, but yes, you still have to deal with problems, and yes, there are people who don't have what you have. And by the same token, there are things that you don't have, but there are things that you do. So a lot of times in life, especially in these days and times, it's hard to make ends meet. It's hard to completely feel happy when we know that we may have a certain amount of abundance, and there are so many people out there who don't have what we have, some of the creature comforts that we have. So it's difficult to strike that balance sometimes, but we all have it within us to strive for that sense of equilibrium, to both be happy for what we have and to help others achieve their goals, and to recognize when we need things from others. So thanks for listening. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment, and I will talk to you soon.